At this stage, phase in your life, how important is it for a man to be a provider? Corinne.
I want to define provider because I think for every woman it might be different. The actual definition, because I looked this up, because I feel like a lot of men these days are allergic to the word provider. I've had so many conversations where it's one of the big. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, not it's true. But it is true. Y'all, it's the truth.
Are you all ready for a very profound conversation? Last Sunday, we heard from the men. What do men really want? This Sunday, we are hearing from the women what women really want. I'm laughing because when we put out the topic, and this will make some of the women laugh as well, I had some people inbox me, and they were men telling me what women want. And I said, that's part of the problem right now. We got women telling men what they want, and we have men telling women, everybody just be quiet. How about this? Our scripture reference for today is Proverbs 24, 3-4. By wisdom, a house is built, and through understanding, it is established. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. So today is going to be a conversation full of wisdom. It is going to be a conversation full of understanding. But this is one thing you have to do. You have to listen. Not listen to respond, but really listen to hear and hear the heart of the beautiful women that are having this conversation with me. So in this time, I am going to introduce Brianna. Come on, Bree. Y'all, I call her Brilliant Bree. Bree is here, a part of Transforming Faith. Bree, you're going to sit over here. Then I have Miss Corinne, who is also the producer for Grace and Truth. And then I have Miss Chandra, who is coming, who is also she's a public speaker. This is what she does for a living. So this is going to be a great conversation. And so at this time, you all take your seats. And as I said before, we are listening, not to respond, but we are listening to get an understanding. And as we talk today, will be a time where you all are able to ask questions. So I'm asking you all that if we say something that kind of like, I don't want to say ruffles your feathers, but something that's like, that's a good point, write it down so that we can make sure that your question is answered. Because last week, in retrospect, there was a question that I did not ask the men that I'm going to ask to the women. And then I will like to hear a response from the men later. So what I'm going to do, I first want to start for folks to know who I am. Y'all know that I'm married to Pastor James. I serve beside him and behind him in ministry. And so it's an honor to be here. So I am the only married woman on the set, but I will be here to be the voice of wisdom for wives. But everybody that's here, they were picked, and I know for a fact, they all see themselves as wives. Although they're single, they do desire to be a wife, either again or for the first time. And so with that being said, I want to start to my right. Tell us who you are.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. My name is Chandra. I am 49 for one more day. Tomorrow's my 50th birthday.
Nice.
But I am single, dating with the intent of marriage.
Come on now.
I was married previously for 20 years. I've been divorced for 10 years. And I'm excited about the conversation.
Wonderful. And I'm going to go over here. I guess we'll start with Corinne.
Hi, everyone. My name is Corinne. I am 35. I'm single. I've been single for quite a but yeah, I love meeting new people and just growing and building.
Great. Miss Bree?
Good morning. My name is Brianna. I am 36 and I'm single as well. Never been married. I am a mom of two boys, 16 and 9, and I'm excited too for this conversation.
That's good. So ladies, with getting started, Pastor James is really laughing on that part. So this is the thing, y'all. In this house, we do believe in marriage. So there will often be times where Pastor James and we see singles, and I'm like, Lord, I want to make sure that we make real connections. So with that being said, you all saw the single men last week, and here are some single ladies, but we have a plethora of more single people in the house. And what better place to meet them than at church? So with that being said, Chandra, my first question, I want to talk to you. What makes it, as a woman, what is the first attraction when you meet a man beyond his physical? What is the first thing that makes you attracted to a man?
So good conversation.
Okay.
You have to be able to have not just a surface conversation, but a conversation with meaning, beyond the good morning, gorgeous, and grand rising.
Man.
The conversation beyond that, that's what it is.
And so just to go a little bit further, how important is a man's purpose and vision and your attraction to him?
For me, very important. I am very purpose-driven in my personal life. I have a business around purpose. So the person that I'm connected with has to also have some idea of what purpose means for them. And then how do we combine or align those purposes as a partnership? So purpose is very important. Vision is very important. If a man doesn't have vision for his own life, he won't have vision for his family's life or for the person that's connected to him. So purpose and vision, extremely important.
Okay. Bree, I'm going to ask you this. What is it that you need to see in a man that would make you willingly and look forward to really wanting to submit to him?
He has to have confidence and vision again.
Okay.
He has to be submitted to God first and foremost. I got to be able to see where you're going, who's leading you, how you live your life, not just about what you're talking about, but I got to see it, and if you have vision, if you are submitted to God first and foremost, then I know you can lead me and I can fall into you for real, for real.
I'm going to ask a little bit deeper in that question because so many women are saying they want a man that's submitted to God. What is a submitted man of God what does it look like in his daily life to you?
In your daily life, your discipline, the fruits of the Spirit should manifest in your life, and I should be able to see it. Mm-hmm. I should see it in your prayer life. I should see it in how you handle everybody, not just me. Mm-hmm. What people say about you behind your back should speak the same to what I see in person, and it should be founded on godly principles. When they look at you, they should see God in you.
Right. So in other words, it's not the matter of that you were looking for a man to have a title in church.
No.
You're not necessarily looking for an apostle or a prophet or a preacher or a teacher or So many times when we say women are looking for men of God, they immediately go to the man that's in the church with a title. So what you're saying is his day-to-day life.
How day-to-day life. It does not have to have a title at all.
Got you. And so, Corinne, my question to you, I thought last week, Anthony said something that was really funny, but it was so true. He says, either you will call out the fool in a man or you will call out the king in a man. How do you decipher, or how not decipher, because we'll never want to call out the fool in him, but when it comes to the place of him really being where you're calling him out the king, how do you call out the king when maybe he's acting like a fool?
It's a great question.
I put a little twist on it. Yeah.
So if you know who he is, where I'm talking to someone who has exhibited those qualities, then I go back to that and remind him of who he is, what his goals are, what he's desiring to do, to be, and make sure I speak to that part of him.
Okay. Go a little bit further in that. So disagreement, he's calling, it's in this moment, you see the potential of what he could be, but he is still at a place of some levels of immaturity. Applicably, how does a woman call him out to be a king, but also not allow him to stay in the immature place? How does she call him up without becoming that person that's talking at him or down to him?
Yep. So I think a big piece of this is that he has demonstrated that this is who he wants to be. So at this point, I mean, language, words, what does accountability look like in a relationship with this man, that you have an understanding of that and you can hold him to his word and speak words that really do remind him and encourage him to step up, right?
Right.
Instead of talking down, this is what you're not. So not speaking in the negative, but speaking in the affirmative, which can be really difficult when you're already in a bad place or negative place. And so reminding him of the positive, what green looks like on the other side.
Right. And so I often laugh. There is a way that you can say something to a man to still get it accomplished. For example, your tone, when you say it, how you say it. One of the men that were on last week, he didn't want to be real direct with it, but one of his red flags for that he saw in a woman, he was like a woman that she just talks too much. And so as a woman, I really can say sometimes we tend to over verbalize at the wrong time, and it's already like you've already put the nail in, but now we're going to take the hammer and just like really. And so you are trying to bring out the king, but really your actions are bringing out the fool. So let me tell y'all what I do, just a little trick. So we have our house sits on a large lot, and Pastor James has taken on the assignment of wanting to cut the yard. Because nowadays, yard people like to get in the riding lawnmowers, but he likes our yard manicured with the lines. So he's taken on this job. But Pastor James is busy, so sometimes he doesn't get to cut the yard. So I will sometimes take a nail and I'll put it there and I'll be like, I want him to cut the yard. But I start using different language. I tell him things like this. Babe, you're not stewarding our house well. So you start saying things like that. You know what? God has called us to be great stewards. And if we don't steward what he's given us, how will we ever expect God to give us more? And so when you're married to a man of God, then you can bring in the Holy, you laughing, Pastor James? You're not laughing at that one. You can bring in, so like cleaning up. You know what? These shoes have been here. You're not stewarding the living room well. So when you say things in a way, you can literally have the Holy Spirit backing you with your language. So let me ask you this. I talked to the guys, last week they were talking. What are some red flags that make you automatically say, you know what? There maybe is a king in him, but I just don't want to even deal with trying to bring out the king.
Get somebody else to do it.
Yeah, right.
For me, it is a man that is not self-aware. So if he is spiraling, and he is not aware of himself, how is that affecting everyone else in the room? What is that saying about your character? What is that saying about, if he cannot calm himself, emotional intelligence, if he can't calm himself, be aware of what's going on, use his words wisely, that for me is a red flag.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're looking for emotional maturity.
At this big age, yeah.
Okay, I got you. Yeah.
At 50, you're looking for something a little different. And so I kind of want to ask that, and then I'm going to come back and ask you all the questions about red flags. But Chandra, let me ask you this, because at 50 years old, you are looking at things from a different perspective. Where are you right now with a man that is still trying to figure it out? Are you at the place, they brought up this last week, are you at the place where you're willing to go be with a man during his learning era? Or are you at a place where you really want to be with a man at his earning era?
I think we're always learning.
Okay.
We should always be pursuing. We should always be learning. However, there is a degree of mastery that you look for that leads to the earning side of him.
Okay.
At this point, there are some things I would like to see or know that he has mastered in his life.
Such as?
Your finances. Your your finances, how you live every day, your day in, day out activities. How you deal with others, your family, your family life, if you have children, what's going on with how are you parenting adult children? I have 2 adult sons. So all of that matters to me. So some things should be mastered. But there are some things that we are still learning, we are still growing in. And as the woman, it is my responsibility to stand with him, to support him, to help him. We are helpers, we are helpmeets. That is a real thing.
Right.
So walking alongside of him, helping him get to his next, I'm very open to that. If you can show me that, or if I can see, not show me, if I can see that the most foundational, simplest things of life have been mastered.
Gotcha. Simple things in life. And so I want to bring the question over to you all. What is a red flag that you see in a man where you're just like, I can't even want to bring out the king in him?
I think this one is not maybe as in your face, but when a man says, I don't know a lot. So I don't know what I want to do. I don't know where I want to go. I don't know who I, won't say I don't know who I want to be, but what these things are saying is that they don't know. And
So, Corinne, how old are you again?
35.
Okay, so you're 35, and I say this often, your 20s are kind of like your learning phase. Our human brains don't fully get developed until the age of 26. And so you are now like a decade in life and trying to navigate things. What is it about the word I don't know that triggers for you? What is the deeper part of that I don't know?
If they don't know, then I'm going to have to know. And there are certain things that I can't figure out for him. Like, there are certain things that he has to know, like, intrinsically.
Like, give an example.
That will drive him.
Like, what does he need to know?
Purpose, obviously.
Okay.
I mean, that's an easy one. Let me think of something maybe. If he says he doesn't know where he wants to be in the next couple of years, or even small things. If it's a consistent kind of thing in his life that he just doesn't know, if I'm always having to make decisions, then
right.
It could be as small as like deciding where to go. I know that's like really small, but if it's over and over, then I'm having to pick up and carry, all the planning,
he needs to make a decision.
Yeah.
And so whatever that is, because people think that being in a gray area is not a decision. No decision is a decision.
Right.
So I meet more people that I talk to, and this just isn't with men, it's also with women too. I tell people, be leery of a person if you know that you want marriage and a man tells you, like, I don't really know if I want a wife. Because at that point, it's a lot of men that say that. So what you will find yourself doing is trying to become what you need to be in order to prove yourself that you are wife material. And so when you're dating with somebody, you don't want to spend years proving yourself to someone. It becomes a job more than it becomes natural. So one of those things, if you are saying, I don't know, as far as I don't know if I want to get married or not, that's a red flag. You need to run. So Bree, I'm going to ask you that also. What is a red flag for you that would make you be like,
Inconsistency in how you show up. You can't show up to me one way one day, then the next day I'm wondering what's going on. You have to be consistent with me. That's a huge red flag, but I also agree with both of you all's answers as well. Emotional maturity is everything, because you can't just let the way the wind blow you far to the left, and then I'm having to pick up the pieces, like what she said.
Yeah. So when we say emotional maturity, can we put some structure around that? What does emotional immaturity look like? I'll start with you since you said that first.
A man that cannot manage his feelings towards me or towards others or towards situations.
Y'all, that's how the word sassy came about culturally.
Yes.
When women started calling men sassy, it came from the place of men not being emotionally strong in areas.
And as a woman, because we, Pastor James laughing.
Listen to get an understanding. Don't listen to respond. Yeah.
As a woman, we're naturally emotional.
Yeah.
Right? We are emotional beings. I am an emotional being. I can get emotional around situations. My partner, I need you to come in and kind of help ground me.
Be a rock.
Chandra,
Be a rock. Yes.
Let's take a look, calm down. First, let me get it out. But both of us can't spiral about what is going on in the situation. So there has to be that balance there. Now, there will be sometimes that maybe I have to step in to help him. But if I'm this way in a situation, both of us can't be falling out in this situation. So how do you have that awareness as well?
I think that's so good, because I got some scripture for you all. 1 Peter 3:7.
Yes.
For men that'll be like, well, you know what? Men have emotions too. I have hard days as well. Listen what the Bible says. It says, husbands, in the same way, be considerate as you live with your wives, and treat them with respect as the weaker partner and as their heirs, and you of gracious gift of life, so that nothing will hinder your prayers. So biblically, I know we are in this era where we're moving over into our softness, but there is biblically where God has literally ordained it as God, man, and woman. And so biblically speaking, sometimes we are the weaker vessel in areas where maybe our emotions do take a turn and can make us kind of be over dramatic, maybe doing too much. And so we do need a partner that we can fall all the way into. And so when you talk about emotional maturity, what does that mean to you, Bree?
Well, I have a real life example.
Okay.
And
good.
this will probably show us what we mean. So I was in a situation where I was dating a guy, and me and him made plans at the beginning of our day as far as how he was going to help me with something in particular. And then as that day went on, we got around some other people. Somebody said something to him, and it just switched up everything. And the plans that we made at the beginning of the day were no longer. I was looking around like, where are you? Where are the plans? Where's the man? But because he had got so heated based on what somebody else did, he just canceled everything and didn't even let me know.
Wow. Yeah.
It's like maintaining composure in high stress, high pressure situations.
Yeah, and communicating and being able to talk to yourself and level set, calm yourself down without somebody else having to really step in and get you to do it.
Yeah. So I'm going to ask you this, Corinne. What type, Pastor James is laughing, what type of man do you need in order for you to really enter into a safe and soft place?
First and foremost is that I want to be able to trust, like we were just talking, his decision making. And so his level of submission to Christ. So what does following Christ, him being able to hear from God and how that gives him direction in life. And so if I can see that and know that he's driven by the voice of God, he's a man of purpose, he, again, knows what he wants and he's going somewhere. And then also that, of course, that he cares about me, that he sees me as part of that, that he sees me as a woman of purpose, and now I've become part of his purpose, and that he can also prioritize me. That would make it really easy for me to submit to him. I was talking to an older man this week, someone that I've known for quite some time since I was a kid, and him and his wife own a business, and he said, anytime I'm making a decision, the first thing I think about is her and how it will affect her. If a man is thinking like that about me with all those other things, it makes it super easy to...
That's so good.
Yeah.
That's so good.
Important.
You kept using the word, if he sees me, you kept saying see. What does it look like to you to be seen by a man?
Everything.
Ooh. Considerate. I do like how you said that. I feel like I'm a part of your decision, not necessarily to sway or change your decision, but just that I was considered in your decision making. Mm-hmm. So if there's something that you have to do or somewhere you have to be, hey, what does Chandra have going on in her day? Or just a quick call, hey, this changed, I'm going here, are you good? Like that question to a woman, are you good? Go do what you need to do, babe. I'll be here when you get back.
Right.
You know, just that you've considered me. You checked in. I'm ooey gooey at that point.
What about you, Bree? What does it mean to be seen by a man?
To be seen to me means you see past my exterior.
Yeah.
You really see, like, in the inner parts of me, you are concerned with how I feel.
Yeah.
Who I am, how my mind thinks. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you too. Even when it comes to like your decision making, like you think about how what you might do might affect me, as well as you're concerned about maybe what you can do to help my day be better, lighter, contribute to something I have going on.
Something just hit me. Details. Mm-hmm. I'm a huge detail person.
Me too.
So if you know that I like a particular thing, and you're out and about and you pick it up and you go, hey, I saw this and thought of you. I know you like this.
Especially when you didn't even know that they were paying attention to that.
Exactly. Right. So the I feel you see me. I feel seen when you can bring things up that I've not made a big deal about. And also another thing, when you can quiet insecurities without me telling you that was an insecurity.
Ooh-wee.
To be known.
Okay, let's pause right there. Because that right there is heavy talk. So it's not the fact that I even have to expose the weakness
Right,
to you.
right.
But you've been around me so long and
Yeah.
you've studied me. You don't
Absolutely.
know, you only don't know what I like. You know what I like,
Yeah.
but you also know what I don't like.
And you know what I need.
Yeah.
And you know what I need because you have studied me, because you have watched me. I had a guy tell me once, I described a situation to him, and before I could get out of the situation, he said, "And you shut down after they said that, didn't you?" And I was like, well,
You
yeah,
don't
I
know
did.
me.
You know, you're right. You don't
And you know you shut down.
right. And I did. And I told him, I'm like, I did shut down after that. And the conversation just kept going. You know, I didn't make a big deal of it. But in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, you are watching. You're watching my temperament. You're watching how I respond to what's said to me or what other people do. You're watching that. I'm very much so in public speaking. I'm out front. So to have someone be able to sit in the corner of a room and know what I'm feeling, know what the vibe is, make the move before I have to ask. All of that makes me feel seen. You see me, you are with me, we are vibing, we are there.
Right.
Yeah.
So when a man covers us,
Oh, absolutely.
that's when we feel seen. When
Yeah.
you know that maybe I am weak in this area as the weaker vessel, that's when your strength comes over and you cover me where that weakness in me doesn't have to be exposed
Yeah.
because I'm so covered by you.
That's good.
Yeah, and so with that being said, what about you, Corinne? With that, what is it? How are you feel like you're being seen by a man?
I think it's everything that's been said. It's just to be known, right? That they really genuinely desire to know what drives me, know what concerns me, and the why behind those things, and can speak to those things in my life.
Moving to a kind of a harder topic. At this stage, phase in your life, how important is it for a man to be a provider? Corinne.
I want to define provider because I think for every woman it might be different. The actual definition, because I looked this up, because I feel like a lot of men these days are allergic to the word provider. I've had so many conversations where it's one of the I'm sorry.
It wasn't
It's
the
true.
show, but it is
true.
Y'all, it's the truth. I'm just thinking about even the conversation last week. It was just kind of like when you say the word provider, it feels so heavy to men where it's just like this load. So you're right.
They don't want to provide, but they want you to submit. You know?
Or they automatically assume.
Y'all, she just coming out. I got you.
But actually, so the to provide adequate sustenance for, right? To provide or to give, to make the appropriate preparation for. And then the other word in the dictionary was breadwinner. And so for me is to be able to provide the things that I need and some of the things that I want in life. Of course, there's the financial piece. To me, at this stage, it doesn't mean that we are where we want to be, like ultimately, but you desire to be able to provide that and to get there, and we can come together and work together to get there. And I've had so many conversations with men. I grew up in a more traditional household where my dad worked, my mom took care of 6 of us, took care of the kids, school, etc. And so I desire to be able to give that to my kids as well. Like if I want the ability to stay at home, or if I desire to have at least that option, right? And I've had conversations with men that, oh, you expect me to take care of the family and like I'm working and I'm providing everything. What you gonna be doing? I'm like
taking care of your kids. That's what I'm gonna be doing.
I'm like, okay, so we
Full-time
just
job.
don't have the same understanding or desire for what it means to be a provider. I'm not saying that you need to be able to take care of 6 kids right now, right? I'm not even saying I want 6 kids, but just it's a desire, right? Because I can't instill that desire in you. And if you can't even see that or want that, you're never even going to work towards it. So I'm not going to enter into something then at that point where I, in my heart, desire to, again, have that option, but you never even see a provider as that. We're just going to be fighting at some point.
That is so offensive to me as a woman to be with a man that has no desire to provide for me. The fact that I can say that I'm looking for somebody to be a provider because I'm willingly wanting to submit to you. And if we're at the place where we've been dating long enough and you feel like I'm only after you for your money, then why are we even dating this long? And I hope that I've brought something to the table where you understand that it really is an honor to be able to say that I am a man that takes full pride and ownership of being able to provide for my family. So what do you have to say about that?
Yes, so something comes to mind. I heard this acronym as I was preparing for today. The difference between a boy and a man. That a boy brings the burden is on you. A man meets all your needs. So when I think about provider, a man meets the need. Provision to me, you're meeting the need that's in front of us right now. That might not always be financial.
Right.
Being married and divorced, I've learned to manage some things and provide some things because I'm it. I don't have anybody else. If it doesn't get paid, it's on me. If it doesn't happen, it's on me. I don't have anyone to go to. So in that regard, I've learned to manage some things, right? So the person coming into my life, I'm not looking for you to come in now and just take over everything and begin to manage it, but I am looking for you to provide support, emotional support. I'm looking for you to provide some joy, in this situation. So provision is not always, for me, it's not always about the money. It is about what we do with what we have when we put it together. And what do you bring that shifts my life, that changes my world?
Yeah.
So I don't want you to feel that you got to come in with this bankroll because, again, I've figured some things out. However, I do want you to come in and fill some gaps that emotionally haven't been.
Partnership.
Yeah, a partnership. So provision, for me, I think it changes too at different stages. So at your stage and age, absolutely, you're growing a family, you're building a family. I'm not growing a family and building a family. So provision looks a little bit different, or providing looks a little bit different.
I want to shift this question to you, Bree, because you do have kids. Your kids are grown. Corinne, you don't have any kids, but you do. What if you meet a man who is a teacher, a maintenance guy, somebody that works in labor, and he's at the place where he will never make six figures, but he's a good man? What does that look like for you, for where you are, because you are raising kids, you have a lot of responsibilities? What does that look like for you as far as him being a provider? I'm asking this question because culture has given us a false sense of identity when it comes to men.
Absolutely.
There are some amazing men
Absolutely.
who will never be able to go into the six-figure upper range. I'm not meaning 100,000. I mean like 250 up. There are some men that won't get to that phase in life. They won't be able to take you all over the world. They won't be able to buy you a $5,000 bag, but he will be at home and he will be home at night.
Yeah.
He will love on you. He will be able to be. He will see you. What is that? Because that sounds good with me saying it, because I did marry a man that has the ability to be a multimillionaire just with the trajectory of his life. But what does it look like in real time for the woman that is not with someone like that?
Well, I don't think that I would rule that guy out at all.
Okay.
I feel like you being a provider is in you. You're a provider at $60,000. You're a provider at $100,000. That should just be what's in you, what's your desire to do for your family. Now, I think that it's about partnership again. I would have to also see your purpose and your vision. If your purpose to affect the lives of kids as a teacher, I would get into that purpose.
Yeah.
I also, when I look at a person or at a man that I'm with, I can see where you can go. And so I would speak to that king part of you. And if I hear you, maybe that you want to go higher, I would speak to you in a way to where it does make you want to go higher. I think that a man also, when you're talking about kids and a woman, a true provider wants to make sure that his family is okay.
Yeah.
Right.
And for me, I did grow up in a household where my mom was a housewife and my dad was a provider, and also the women in my family and the men was the same way, the same dynamic. And I saw that at different levels. And at the end of the day, I just feel like, for me, my husband should make sure that if anything was to happen, we're just not going to be out on the streets.
Right.
You said if he wanted to go higher, would you be okay if he didn't want to?
If that's what
I would not.
No.
I think that's a great question.
I'm not
No,
that
you
good question.
you got to be real with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody doesn't have the capacity to go higher.
that's true.
And that does not make him a bad man.
It just
does
makes
not.
him not the right one for me.
Okay. And I can receive that.
Yeah.
But on the opposite side with that, we also got to say we okay with being single. Because
Trade-offs,
Yeah,
for
I'm
sure.
sorry. That's just the real
Yeah.
part because sometimes what we are desiring, they may come packaged a little different. And that's the thing. Women say it all the time. I was just talking to my friend this morning, Shantae. She just said, I'm at a place where, I just rather stay by myself. And that is fine as long as we have that understanding. And so you were going to say something because what if he just enjoys being a school teacher? He don't want to open a school. He don't want to do an after school program. He likes going to work 7 to 4, having his summers off, and that's what he likes. Is that okay?
It's not okay for me.
Okay.
I know that I'm driven. I know that I want to go somewhere and I have a big vision and things that I'm working on. So we just would not be compatible.
And that's fair.
You talked about the prize, right? A couple of weeks ago.
Right.
There's a lot of work. You think about athletes. A world-class athlete is not competing on a local level. That prize to them means absolutely nothing, right? And so if you think about that in dating sense, like I want the man who I also see as a prize. So the man who doesn't see anything more than where he is now, mentally we won't be okay together. Because I'm going to try to push you and you're going to want to stay where you are. That's not growth to me.
Right.
So there's a low baseline that I'll never be okay with.
What women want, we want men that want more.
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
And so that's really what as a man, and you're hearing this, maybe you are at a place of being comfortable. We don't want a man that is just comfortable at some stage in life when God has called us to be your helpmeet.
Right.
We want to help you to want more.
Right.
So how do we decipher between a promise, meaning that he's going to really do this, and a project? Because as women, sometimes we have been transitioned into this role of God has naturally made us nurturers.
Yeah.
And sometimes we look at men, and rather than holding them to the accountability of being a husband, we'll make them be a son. Because we're so used to raising children that it's in our nature, we'll raise a man. And then we'll get mad at him when he doesn't step up to the plate. But the thing is, I've never given him the opportunity to do it because I've been so busy nurturing him.
Yeah.
How do we know when somebody is just not a project and they're moving from potential to a promise?
Another thing to add to what you just said, and then I'll segue into that we sometimes fall in love with the potential.
Yeah.
And we will ignore what's in front of us because we keep thinking, I can get him there. I can love him to that place. I can encourage him. I can motivate him. I can inspire him to that place. Yeah. When you should watch over time, if you're, attempting to do that and he's not budging, he's not moving, or he's fighting you against that. And I'm not saying verbally, physically fighting you against it, but if he's not receiving, if he's resistant to your encouragement, then that might be a project.
Yeah.
But if he is open to receive what you bring as his helpmeet, as his partner, hey, let's grow, let's do this together. If he's open to that and you can see the fruit of that, then I think that's someone that I can work with. I can stand behind. I can support you. I can push you because women are multipliers. You get, we've heard it said time and time again that you bring me what you have and I can multiply that and we can go further together. Yeah. Right. So, if he's not resisting that, then I think there's room there and there's something to work with.
I think on the other end of that too, I don't want to hold your hand every step of the way.
Absolutely.
Either. Like if I can speak to that, if I can multiply, then you take off and you run with it and lead us to the next place. That's what I'm looking for. I don't want to have to.
I don't want all the burden. I don't want all of the burden to be on me to do what what I think I can see you do, right? I want you to have some drive to get there.
Question, I'm asked this for you. Do you feel like there should be equal partnership in relationships? Or do you feel like a man is just designed to carry more?
I think it looks different.
Okay.
Right, partnership. For there are different roles. Carrying more, yes. But the weight. How do I say this? I think the weight for a woman still might feel heavy. The weight for a man still might will feel heavy.
Yeah, we say this often when we're talking to married couples, that marriage is for the mature.
Yes.
When we get married, a man gets on one knee and he decides that he wants to ask me.
Yes.
I don't force him to ask me. In his own free will, he gets down on one knee and he asks me to be his wife.
Right.
When he asks me to be his wife, there's also an expectation that I take on his last name.
Yes.
That means that I am taking on this as my wife, and I'm taking her under the ownership of her.
Right.
Then we go further. We get to the church, and we walk down the aisle. My daddy walks me down the aisle, and my dad gives me to you.
Right.
My daddy has taken care of me. My daddy has provided for me. My dad has been the resource and the substance. My dad is my first expression to how I met God. Then my dad gives me to
responsibility
you. So
that he carries.
He's giving me his responsibility. So what women want, we want you to know that when you're getting us, it is going to feel heavy because you've just taken on new ownership of something. Anytime there has been an exchange and you are now taking on ownership, it should feel heavy. Us leasing an apartment versus me owning a home, it's much heavier.
Absolutely.
When something breaks down in the apartment, I can call the maintenance man. When something breaks down in my house, we've got to call somebody, but we don't have to be to the point where the apartment takes care of it. We now have to have the financial means to take care of it. Ownership looks different. But now in society, people don't understand that as a man means that I am taking on the ownership of another human being.
That's good.
And it is my responsibility to take, when she returns to God, I've got to return her back in a better version than when she was before she met me.
That's good.
In my opinion. And that's why y'all got to be sure to be okay when you get married.
Yes.
My husband knew the expectation.
Yes.
I expect you to provide for me.
Yeah.
I expect you to own me. There's a clip where he went viral. People disagree. Because he was talking about how marriage is ownership. And as he was saying it, I was like, yes, sir. Own me, sir. Own me. But that doesn't give me the right to be lazy.
Right.
It's just the fact that when I'm owned by him, I take care of whatever it is that he gives me to take care of.
Yeah.
Leaders carry more weight.
So, leaders carry more weight.
So
I
yes,
think that's good.
Yeah.
So what we agree that we really don't believe in equal partnership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimately,
yeah. So nobody wants to have, because it doesn't sound politically correct to say that. But I haven't been designed to carry the same weight that you've carried. And if you ever want to see a stressed out woman, you're going to see a woman that is carrying a weight that she was never designed to carry.
Absolutely.
that's good.
Absolutely. It was that clip, actually, that I saw of Pastor James saying that. And when he said it, I sat with it for a minute, and I'm like, anything that you own, you take good care of it. You are, you poke your chest out a little bit more when that thing looks good. So for a man, when his wife walks into a room and she looks a certain way, she can move in a certain way. That's a reflection of him. Like, you are taking such good care of me that when I show up, I say this often, when I show up, I want to suck the air out of the room.
Come on now.
So if you're taking good care of me, if we are, I like the word vibing, if we're vibing and our partnership is what it is, own me. Sir, please. And when I show up, now you take care of that possession, so that when I show up, people look and say, oh, he is taking good care. Have you ever heard that people say that? Oh, she looks so happy.
Yeah, she got a glow.
She got a glow. Okay, because he's taking care of me.
Right, and it's not even about money.
It's
Are
not.
you did I get to sleep good last night? Because when I went to sleep, I rolled over. You were there too. Did I get to rest last night? Did I have to deal with some type of chaotic drama because you didn't know how to emotionally handle your feelings?
Right.
A woman that is taken good care of, there is something that she possesses where she gets to laugh and smile differently.
Absolutely.
It is something that happens within. So moving the conversation just to a little bit, something different. Bree, what is something that a man does that really has the ability to break your spirit?
Ooh. I think it's the opposite of being seen. You just going about life like I don't matter at all. What matters to me does not matter to you at all.
Just existing.
Just existing to where I feel abandoned. Yeah. Like we're in a relationship, but you absolutely do not see me at all. And so you can't notice when I am off.
Yeah.
You can't notice when I'm in need of something else from you. Even when I think about like even as being a mother and you're doing a lot for your kids, like you don't notice when to step in and say, hey, you're doing a lot, let me take this on for you right now. That would really crush me to not be seen.
Yeah. What about you, Corinne?
A man who belittles or demeans, my voice doesn't matter, because I put a lot of weight on someone that I've given that place in my life. And if he is tearing me down and breaking me down in those ways, like I'm a strong woman, but eventually I either have to separate to be able to maintain and grow in what I'm doing, or I just have to like shut that out. So if the main person's voice who should matter most to me, I don't want it to matter that much because of how he's speaking to me, then that's just not a good place to be. And I would say the close second would be not being prioritized. So if I feel like I'm second to friends, or even to family, and this is with balance, of course, right? Or to other women, like that just would, I think, would break me.
What does intimacy look like with you beyond physical with a man?
Ooh, physical touch, so holding my hand in public, joining me. Let's say I'm cooking. I love to cook. So if I'm in the kitchen cooking and you just come sit and be in the room, you don't have to say anything. Bring your laptop to the table and work from the table. Yeah, presence. Yeah. Come work from the table while I'm in here cooking. Like that. That's intimacy for me. Just those little moments. We can sit on the couch together and watch a movie or watch TV, or we're riding in the car together and you hold my hand while you're driving. Like those are intimate moments to me. And I think it goes back to, again, him seeing me. So you know what moves me without trying, I guess.
Yeah, just letting it naturally.
Just naturally let it happen.
What about you,
I think for me, too, it's about intimacy can be in, like, the conversations that we have.
Right.
Like, having real deep, in-depth conversations so I can see how your mind works in different situations and vice versa. That is the most intimate place for me. That's not physical.
I tell single women this, and I did this not even having the knowledge that I was doing it, but intimacy with me, with my husband, he knows things about me that I've never told a soul.
Right.
And so I can look at him and I can literally say, he has become a vault of things that I felt were like secrets that I couldn't expose. And I can give him the deepest part of me where maybe sometimes if we aren't virgins when we get married, maybe we didn't save ourselves for our husbands. But single women, God will put a man in your life that there may be some things that you have held on to that you feel like you can never release. And he will become a safe space where you literally can expose your weaknesses to him. And in that intimate moment, those are the moments that he can come in and cover and protect and to make sure that you're good. And so those are really important. I want to ask a question because I didn't ask it earlier. We keep talking about being seen and we keep talking about intimacy beyond the physical. Let's talk a little bit deeper about the physical with the woman. We are now in an age where women are overly exposing themselves, meaning how they dress, their attire, what they're doing to get attention from a man. When we talk about what women want, do you all feel as single women that you've got to be a little bit more provocative to compete? Because men constantly say they don't want a woman exposed. But when you find out about the man, he often chooses the woman that is exposed or is going down in the DMs with the woman that is half naked. So it's like, which one do you really want? I mean, so do you ever feel, I asked this to Corinne, do you ever feel like you have to overexpose yourself or you feel like you gotta be a little bit sexier to entertain a man, for a man to actually be attracted to you?
I don't, but
Okay.
I'm secure in myself and what I carry, and I know that it's not going to be for everyone. So all really, truly that it matters is that it is what the man that chooses me wants. And so as long as I'm showing up and I feel good and I look good and I'm taking care of myself, then I'm going to present myself as such. And the one who wants that and desires that will be okay with it.
Gotcha. What about you, Chandra?
Yeah, no, I'm not competing with any woman ever for a man in any way. Social media, in real life, nothing. I am who I am. And if what you see is not what is desirable for you, then I'm just not for you.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that. And there are some things I believe that are still should be kept for your husband. There are some things that no one else gets to see. There are some things that it's only for his eyes. There are some things that you wear at home for your husband that I'm not putting on and let anybody else see me anywhere, social media, or even outside of this house. This is for you and for your eyes only. And I believe that goes back to what we talked about earlier, how he values you. I don't want I would think my husband would not want to open social media and look at my pictures from the past and say, well, every man has seen that part of you.
Yeah.
What's left? As my mom says, there's some things that should be left for the imagination.
Right.
So I can show up fully clothed and your imagination does what it does. But my husband, that's sacred between he and I. So competing on social media for the likes and all the things, absolutely not. And please stop doing it.
I'm glad,
stop it.
Felicia Rashad was on the Breakfast Club.
Yes, I heard that.
And she made a comment, and I was like so blown away about how she
Yeah.
got attacked on social media.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, Lord have mercy, times have really, really changed. She was basically just telling women, like, hey, cover up. Like, modesty still works. Like, you don't have to expose everything. And she really got attacked because women are at that place where I love my body, I want to be free. And that was one of the questions we didn't get to ask the men. But, like, how do you really feel about that when you're with a woman? But don't make it contradictory.
Yeah.
Like, you keep saying you don't want to see a woman in this light, but why is that the type of woman that you continuously put yourself in the way to be able to attract?
Yeah,
So,
I actually had a guy tell me, he said, those type of women are women that you play with. Those are not the women that you bring home.
wow.
So that was enough for me when he said that. I'm like, okay.
Okay, you guys, we're moving into our question segment right now. I think the conversation is going good. As you all are making your way to the mic, I would love to have some men ask questions.
He couldn't wait.
So, okay, I don't know. I think the mic is over here, but we're going to go with the online question right now. What advice would you give to the younger couple looking to get it right, but never grow up with parents who set the prime example of loving correctly? What I would first tell them is you're in a season where there are no excuses.
Right.
There are so many people that have grown up without parents who were able to figure it out.
Yes.
This is the thing. Let's take the pressure off our parents.
Absolutely.
They were two individual people learning each other, trying to become one.
Right.
But obviously, if you're online and you're listening to this type of content, he's allowing you to hear sounded right. But this is the thing. In our free will, I have to ask you toxicity. And so we don't desire to get it right. We got to remove excuses, okay? We didn't have mother. I'm a new generation. I'm a new person. I'm a new person. God has called bloodline for me to be able to say that me and this man, we maybe a couple that's doing it. You have grace and truth to want to be able to get it right. Surround yourself with people.
Testimony, just a little bit. Because I was ending a relationship, sat for a while, and I thought I need a group of people that are fighting for relationships. Because just because I was married for 20 years doesn't mean that I know it all about relationships.
Yeah.
Obviously, something there went awry. So there are some things that I need to learn or I need to be better at. As Pastor Tiffany opened with, I'm a wife. I'm not a girlfriend. I'm not a long time. I'm not a side chick. I am a wife, and I know that I am a wife. So I need to go somewhere that's speaking to the principles of me being a wife so that I can get it right. So even if you've been married before, doesn't mean you're the wife that I am in the next season is not the same wife that I was in the last season. So I had to put myself somewhere that I could be fed. And it was Grace and Truth came across my Instagram feed when you guys were doing it at the match. That happened to be right across the street from where I lived. And I thought, okay, I'm going to watch this for a little bit. I loved what I was hearing, so I bought a ticket and went to the event. So that's what brought me to Transforming Faith, and then things evolved from there. So if you really have a desire to get it right, and if you can get beyond yourself thinking that you are right, because women, sometimes that's what stops us, is that we think we already know, and we think that we're doing it right, when you need to put yourself around some people to feed what you think. I'm telling you, it will change your perspective. Grace and Truth has truly changed how I look at relationships. That's awesome. And things have been divinely this moment right here is a divine alignment based on what I needed for myself. So to that couple that's looking, take the pressure off of the parent. They did what they could with what they have, but there are too many platforms. Pray and allow God to lead and guide you. And then you have some discernment of, this is the place for me, or this is where I need to be. You can learn anything out there to be better.
That's good. Okay, we have an in-house question.
Ladies, my question is, what does it mean when a man tells you no? Because I hate hearing that answer.
What does it mean when a man tells me no?
Yes.
What is no?
Like,
who is doing such a thing?
I'm gonna
What's he saying no to?
No to what?
It can be a situation or a discussion, and he has to tell you no, and you disagree in the moment.
Sometimes I need a no, and I'm okay with the no. Yeah, sometimes I need a no, and I can be okay with it.
Because in today's society, you tell a woman no. Say if you're like, obviously, we're talking about a single panel. So when you first getting to meet people, you can't tell them no, because they'll reject you. But you just using your wisdom instead.
Give me an example, because God knows I've been off the scene for a long time. Give me an example. And thank God I'm off the scene. It sounds stressful.
Let's just say you want to go to Taco Madero, and I tell you no. Like, I don't think I should spend this much money on a first date or whatever. I'd rather do something else that's not costly effective, basically.
Can I ask?
Because I need a fill for the water.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
How did she ever choose Taco Madero? She just said, I want to go there?
I mean, we just planned a date, and she was like, oh, yeah, let's go get something to eat. And she just brought it up. And so I'm like, no, let's do something else instead.
Let me tell you how you avoid that next time. You don't have her plan the date. She don't need your help. She doesn't need help planning the date. What you say is, hey, babe, or whatever you call her, I'm going to be there to get you up. I'm going to be there to pick you up or meet you at 8 o'clock. I have a whole evening planned out for us. Just come dressed in this and be prepared. Sometimes men are dating, when you're dating a woman, stop giving us options.
There's a certain type of woman.
Yeah, lead. Just lead us. Lead us even while we're dating. Just lead me into what we want to do. Because if Taco Madera is expensive, beautiful restaurant, lead me to Starbucks. Lead me to Papados. Just have something planned where I don't even have a question of where we're doing or what we're doing.
I think you have to also know who you're choosing. If she's not reasonable, then you know that in her response to you saying that. So it shows you pretty early on. She's wanting to go to Taco Madera instead of to the park. She's getting upset because you're saying no to that. Then that tells you what you need. So do you keep pushing, or do you see where she is and what she's about, and you choose to move differently?
I think last week it was discussed as levels. Like you're a 4 and she's a 8.
Right.
So she might not be compatible for you. They're giving him help from the audience.
Yeah, what you doing?
Because
Yeah,
it's getting
we
away
see-
from
we
the
see
point
you,
I'm trying
Andrew.
to
What
make
you
is
whispering?
that, because you can be in a season of no. Like, he can't give you what you want, so the answer is no.
What are you saying yes to?
Yeah.
I'm saying the answer can be yes, just not in this season. Like,
If
as far as
every
being a provider and like women want a provider.
a restaurant's not a provider though, so
I think there's a broader thing that you're trying to say. What you've got to be okay with, when she says no, you've got to practice reciprocity. When she says no, you say. When you say no and she says no, y'all both got to be okay with your no.
Yeah.
And so the thing is, if you're dating a woman and it maybe she wants more than what you're able to give, the right woman, Derek, is going to love you right where you are. She gonna be so excited to go to the park. She'll be excited to go to Chick-fil-A. The thing is, I think you are maybe meeting people that aren't in a place, I'm being honest, I done seen women say what they won't put up with. When they meet the person that they really are into, they put up, I think it's just with that, I think that sometimes we got to try to stop forcing a puzzle piece.
Yeah.
And just know that the person that God really has for you, she's going to be okay with your no. And she's going to be like, well, okay, since you said no to that, what's the alternative? Yeah. Come on, Levi.
Levi in the cut. How y'all doing? I appreciate everything that was said, first of all. Simple question. Y'all had touched up on potential for a little while, so I wanted you to kind of dig into that a little bit. My question was, what helps you to decipher potential from what can be perceived as dead weight?
I think for someone, if I'm looking at a man and I can see that you have potential, I also have to see right where you are that you have actions that are actually being done to get to that place that you're trying to get to. You can't just tell me I have this vision and then we just sitting around looking for the vision.
What if he's in a season of waiting?
Of waiting?
Yeah.
Waiting.
Like being still. What if he needs clarity?
If he needs clarity?
Yeah, as a provider,
I feel
it
like
takes leadership to have provision, right? So if I need to take a second and, figure some things out or wait on God to speak to me so I know what direction to take us in.
yeah. Can you communicate and share the plan, right? So we know that this is the goal. I'm waiting on God to give me an answer for this, and this is how I would like to move. This is what I want to see happen. This is what I'm working towards. As soon as I hear God on this is what I want to happen, right? So there are actions, there are plans in place. Are you going to wait for 10 years, 20, 30, 5, 1? Yeah. And if I don't hear from God at this point, this is what I think I'm going to do, right? There has to be some kind of...
Let me tell you real quick. This is for everybody. You do not get permission to drop the ball while you're waiting.
Yeah.
And so often we'll say that we're waiting and being still. That doesn't give you the permission just to stop. You can still think while you work because there are responsibilities in life that I don't get permission just to wake up and just drop the ball because I'm waiting to hear the voice of God. What I've learned sometimes is that God's voice is really loud and clear while I'm walking with him. So sometimes we walk and we wait. We've got to understand, because sometimes we're waiting on God and God is really waiting on us. We've heard that saying before. Yes. I just feel like sometimes when you're saying, like, from what I hear that you're saying, well, maybe she wants me to do this now. I'm telling you this, you don't have to do anything as long as the ball is not getting dropped. The day you start dropping the ball is the day that now your waiting has now become a frustration. You don't get permission to drop the ball while you wait.
Because I think God gives you a picture of something. Yeah. And so what are you doing to work towards that picture that you see right now? Yeah. You can't just sit still and not do nothing.
Yeah, so just to give a little clarity, I asked this question because I was in that position as a younger man. I was around 24. I was a firefighter, got injured on the job, and my world kind of went upside down, right? And so while I was trying to figure out, what my purpose was supposed to be during that season, I was dating a young lady, and she hit that first frustration phase, And so it took me a while to get back on the right track. In between, we ended up parting our separate ways, but right after, I got that clarity that I needed, and then I became the big shark, you know what I mean? So it was like, man, I wish she would have, waited a little bit longer for me to get everything in order.
I think also in a place like that, a woman also wants to see if you are a hard worker. Like, even if you're waiting to see exactly where you should go, are you still getting up, doing the things that makes you a provider?
Like, were you going to physical therapy? Were you sitting in the house really doing the work that even though maybe you were injured, were you still on the means? Because sometimes we say that we're waiting, but we also wait, and we wait in this pity party. We wait in this thing where it's like she's now dealing with a man, a depressed man. And so sometimes the frustration could have been that, like, I understand that he's hurt, but, like, I need him to change his perspective, because even though he's hurt right now, I still need him to be trusting in God. I still need him to be encouraging himself. I still need him to be in this place of he's not dropping the ball emotionally. And so I think that just goes back, we got to look for ways that while we're waiting, how do we still dribble the ball? Yeah.
And if she's the one, God will equip her to have the grace to wait with you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
If she didn't have the grace to wait with you, then she was not the one.
Yeah.
And that's point blank.
Appreciate
Awesome.
you.
Thanks, Levi. We have another question in-house from a man. Hey.
How y'all doing?
We're good.
So my question is a hard question. So, I guess anybody would have to answer, but I believe there's a spirit of prostitution in the world, right? Do you feel like that spirit is creeping into the church, and that spirit of prostitution is convoluting the message of what it means to provide? And so we're getting mixed messages and mixed signals from the world and in the church about what we're supposed to be doing as men. I think there's a deeper question there, because provision, when I looked up provision in the word for the Greek, that means to have foresight. It means for me to see ahead. Has nothing to do with money.
Has nothing to do with what?
Money.
With money, okay.
Right, and so there's this aspect that we've only been taught it's about money. It's not about, I put money in the bank, or I made an investment, or I put gas in my woman's car. You know what I mean, before she went to work, or whatever it is, right? So anyway, that's
I got a question for you. So if the word provider looks like foresight,
provision.
That means the word provision looks like foresight. That means that God is showing you something ahead.
Amen.
How do you get to the place that God is showing you ahead without money? I don't think without the means to be able to get there. I like the word that you used, because prostitution in the church comes far beyond just even relationally. You have pastors that are prostituting for tithes and offerings too, people wanting to make their life better than the kingdom better. So I think the word foresight, I still think that it's coupled with what we've talked about, because foresight means that also God has given you a vision.
Correct.
And so
Provision.
as you are being the head, and you are giving us the foresight and the vision of where we're going, we still have to have a means in order for us to be able to get there.
Not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, I feel like there's something is convoluting the message, right? What I heard from the brother who was standing here was saying, what I really heard was, when I hear no, there's an expectation that I get what I want every time I say I want it, regardless of how you plan or what you do, right? And so I think there's an expectation that's happening, that leaks and seeps into the world. Women are not shaking and dancing and doing this stuff just because they are competing with each other. Because a lot of men don't want that. And the men who do want that just want somebody to sleep with. So these are not necessarily men of God, right?
I got
Looking
a
for that, right?
question for you. And this is not just for you. I think it's a good question. I love this type of conversation. How do you go about meeting women? Like, where do you find them? How do
I'm
you pick them?
divorced.
Okay.
I don't meet anybody.
Okay,
I've been
okay.
single. I'm just being
Yeah,
real. Like,
but
I've
I'm
decided not to date at all.
Okay.
And so what I do is I make friends.
Okay.
And I want to see who's my friend.
Right.
And in that time that I can be friends with somebody, if they're interested in me, then I think the friendship allows for you not to do the convoluted exchange, because there is no necessary expectation until I step to you and I say, hey, you know what I think? I think this is what I want. And then they say, you know what, I agree. And then we move into that place. But I'm not just walking around giving everybody my everything, because I learned.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? You don't do that with every woman. So I'm not going to give you everything. And I don't necessarily agree with men even communication is communication.
Right.
I need to know you. So you may not like me pulling up and doing stuff, right? And that's not a knock. It's just saying you might not like that, right? Some women don't.
Right.
And so there's different kinds of women. And so we have to understand who we're dealing with, how we're dealing with people. So when you become friends, you get to know what that means. And as long as dudes are afraid of friend zone because they want sex. I'm not afraid of friend zone because I want your sex. So I'm good, right? But everybody ain't like that.
What immediately comes to mind as I hear you speak is that maturity. You have to have a mature person to be able to discern those things. The competition, and I said I'm not competing, and I'm not. I don't compete with anyone, but there is a type of woman probably that is competing, that is doing all the things on social media because she feels that's what she has to do to get something because there's an expectation there. So she thinks that the only way I'm going to get what I expect is to do these things, so that's what I'm going to do. That's a sector of women that do that. But there are some women out there that aren't competing that way. So to the other point of prostitution, all good things can be perverted. And everything seeps into everything just because of it just does, right? And it's just the way life is. So again, it takes a level of maturity for you to be able to discern as the man, I think, oh, that's not for me, or that's not where I should be, or that doesn't look that, that's not looking right, and then not partake in it. So as you're speaking, maturity is what comes to mind to me. Putting a woman in a friend zone until you get ready to make a decision on whether or not you want to move forward, then you can't get mad when she steps out of the friend zone either. I think women are some of the most patient people, but while we're being patient, we don't have to stay in proximity of you while you decide what you're going to do with us. So, there again is that exchange as well. So that's what comes to mind.
Yeah.
I think the last thing is just choose wisely. And a lot of times we're saying that we want one thing and actually not choosing according to the things that we're saying we want. And so you're showing up in a way, you're presenting yourself, or men and women, and that becomes performance. I do think that women are willing to learn. You said it. A woman will do anything for the man that she really wants, right? And so have you developed yourself as a man, to the young man who asked the question before, to be able to gently persuade, lead the woman into yes, not just no, or to responding in the right way when he does say no?
Right? And again, that's maturity as well.
Yeah.